Here is a number the electric car industry does not put in its brochures. The average EV bought new in the UK right now will lose between 38 and 42% of its value within 3 years. For the worst models on this list, that figure is closer to 70%. On a £30,000 car, that is £21,000. Not spent on fuel, not on servicing, just gone. I'm a mechanic. I've run a workshop for over 20 years. I've got nothing to sell you. Let's get into it. Before we count them down, one thing you need to understand. There are two forces hammering EV values in Britain right now, and neither has anything to do with whether the cars are any good. The first is the ZEV mandate. Manufacturers are legally required to sell a rising share of electric vehicles each year. When they fall short, the fines are enormous. So they discount new EVs aggressively, particularly toward year-end, to hit their numbers. Every time a dealer drops the price of a new electric car, every equivalent used one nearby loses value the same day. It does not matter how well you looked after yours. The second is the fleet return wave. Between 2020 and 2022, company car tax on EVs was 1 to 2%, against 30% or more on a diesel. Fleet managers ordered tens of thousands. Those were 36-month leases. Since 2023, those cars have been flooding back all at once, and dealers are drowning in nearly identical 3-year-old EVs, competing for a buyer pool that cannot absorb them. When supply overwhelms demand, price goes one way, and from April 2026, EVs no longer get free road tax. New ones pay £200 a pure from year 2. Cars registered before March 2026 that were previously exempt now pay it too. Another cost that did not appear when you signed. Now let's name the 7. Number 7, the Renault Zoe. For years, the Zoe was the best-selling pure electric car in Europe. The problem is what has happened to it since. 3-year depreciation sits at approximately 70%. On a £22,000 car, you are left with roughly $6,600. That is not a typo. The reasons are not mysterious. Real-world range sits around 150 to 180 miles on older versions, while newer competitors offer 250 to 300 miles at similar money. The charging system is increasingly incompatible with the rapid chargers being rolled out across Britain. And Renault's EV restructuring has not helped residual confidence. A Zoe bought in 2022 is worth less today than some owners paid in monthly finance charges. Number 6, the Nissan Leaf, pre-2022. The world's first mass-market electric vehicle, on sale in the UK since 2011, and it genuinely changed the market. The older versions have depreciated at roughly 17% per year, and the earliest 24 and 30 kilowatt-hour examples are now trading under £5,000. The honest issue is not the car itself, it is the battery chemistry. Nissan used air-cooled cells in the early Leaf rather than liquid-cooled ones, making them more susceptible to degradation under frequent rapid charging. At 70,000 miles, some early examples are delivering 60 to 65% of their original range. On a car already limited to around 100 real-world miles when new, that is a serious problem. The newer 40 and 62 kilowatt-hour versions with liquid cooling are a different story entirely. But pre-2019 cars on the used market right now represent a genuine battery lottery, and buyers know it. The prices reflect exactly that uncertainty. Number 5, the Vauxhall Corsa Electric, the worst depreciation figure on this list. The Corsa Electric loses 72% of its value over 3 years. On a list price of £29,045, owners are left with approximately £8,300, over £20,000 of loss on a car the size of a Corsa. The reasons stack up. Stellantis, Vauxhall's parent, has been through factory closures and restructuring that does not inspire confidence in long-term brand support. The Corsa Electric shares its platform with the Peugeot e-208, and software and charging issues have appeared across both. And then there is the market reality. Chinese electric cars are available in Britain now at prices not far above what a 3-year-old Corsa Electric fetches. When a buyer can choose between a used one with unknowns and a brand new Chinese EV with a full warranty for similar money, most are making the same decision. Number 4, the Volkswagen ID Punch-Free, pre-2023. The Golf of the electric age, that was the promise. The buy again scores from early British owners tell a different story. Software that crashed, touchscreens that behaved unpredictably, an ownership experience that did not match the price. VW updated it repeatedly, and the post-2023 cars are genuinely improved. But the used market is now flooded with pre-update fleet returns, and those cars are being priced by dealers who need to move them. Annual depreciation on the ID.3 runs at approximately 17.8%. On a $35,000 list price, the 3-year residuals have caught a lot of first owners off guard. The motor and battery underneath are sound. It is the software history and the sheer volume of returns that are driving values down. Number 3. The MG ZS EV. Hit subscribe before the top 2. If a mechanic with nothing to sell is worth your time, you know what to do. The MG ZS EV sells on price, and for a new buyer that price is hard to argue with. The problem comes when you go to sell. MG is owned by SAIC, a Chinese state manufacturer. The sales numbers in Britain are real, but the residual value support that holds resale prices up requires dealer network depth, parts confidence, and brand history that MG has not yet built here. What Car's reliability survey puts MG last of every brand with a 38% fault rate, and that feeds directly into buyer hesitancy. The battery replacement question, which for any EV sits between £5,000 and £20,000 depending on pack size, is harder to answer for an MG than for a Hyundai or Nissan, because the long-term UK parts supply chain is still an open question. Buyers are pricing that uncertainty in. The used values show it. Number 2. The BMW i3. Genuinely clever engineering, carbon fiber body, innovative packaging, a driving character unlike anything else in this segment. And it has depreciated at a rate that reflects how niche all of that turned out to be. The range is the core problem. Real-world figures sit between 100 and 160 miles depending on version. In 2015 that was competitive. In 2026, buyers can find used Hyundai Ioniqs and Kia e-Souls offering 250 miles at comparable prices. The rear hinge doors, unusual interior, and shade mode charging on early versions all narrow the buyer pool further. And a narrow buyer pool means the seller absorbs the gap. BMW i3s that cost $25,000 to $30,000 new are trading under $8,000. The gap between what the badge implied and what the market will pay is where the loss lives. Number 1. The Tesla Model 3 2019-2021. This will surprise people, and I understand that. Tesla has the most proven electric drivetrain on the road. The supercharger network is the best in Britain. None of that has stopped the depreciation. A Model 3 that cost £40 and $990 new is trading today between $12,000 and $15,000 with 30,000 to 50,000 miles. That is over 25,000 gone in 3 to 4 years. The reason is structural. Tesla has cut new car prices repeatedly since 2022, on some variants by over 20%, because Chinese competition has forced their hand. Every cut to new prices drags used values down immediately. The owner, who paid £40 and $990 down in 2021, is now competing with a dealer offering a new Model 3 for £33 and $990 down with a full warranty. That maths does not work in the seller's favor. The honest other side, at $12,000 to $15,000 as a used buy, that same Model 3 is extraordinary value. Proven drivetrain, working supercharger network. Someone else has absorbed the £25,000 hit. Every car on this list is a loss for the person who bought new, and potentially a significant opportunity for whoever buys it second. 7 cars, 7 sets of numbers the salesperson did not put in front of you. The ZEV mandate, the fleet return wave, the road tax that landed in April, none of it was in the brochure. The depreciation never is. What is the biggest financial surprise you have had owning an electric car? Drop it in the comments. I read every one. You know what to do with that subscribe button.